as well. Even though you'll still get like the notification that Sherman's going Instagram live from Facebook, it's not the same. So let's see here. All right.
You're aiming that at Carrie Ann, right?
No, this is just pointed at me. This is just.
He's like, "Do you want to be out?" I was like, "No."
This is just pure ego at this point. All right. So what we'll do is we'll pretend like this is just kind of intro style, right?
Sure.
So if there's anything in particular that you guys want to know, just put the comments below, and then hold on, I just stopped on Facebook, so I want to just get that going. Boom, go live. So if there's anything that, put the comments below if you have any questions, anything that you want to know, and then anything that you guys want to know, let me know. So we'll start there first. So you guys tell me where you want to start. So that way it's not just me just rambling on, because that can get real boring.
Well, I'm not sure what the guidelines are, so
No guidelines. They're just open sesame.
All right. Well, I'm still gonna let you go first because I'm not exactly sure where to start.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
So my first question would be is social media is so important in business, and how do you best use social media? How do you get a return on your investment using social media? Your investment of time and educating on your services. Where do you get that return?
Okay.
Okay.
I like that. What else? I'm just this Facebook Live Facebook Live is not working, but Instagram is live is hot. Let's see. So what's the background? What's happening right now? So G Sherman, we're talking about social media strategies, and I want to know what people want to know first. Yeah, Simon Sinek is on the back. Okay, what do you want to know?
Is it all social media strategies?
Anything that is, it could be marketing in general if you want.
Sure.
Sometimes it's easier to start kind of real big picture and then go.
So how do you
down.
narrow down your focus to find your ideal customer client on social media? What's the strategy behind? So I guess that's kind of like ROI, but more of a strategy.
So can we call that like niche marketing on social media?
Sure.
So instead of like broadcasting to the entire cyberspace, like a post in Twitter goes global, how do I then focus here locally?
Sure.
Okay. Anything else that comes to mind? Yeah.
When people are using Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook, can we talk about appropriate hashtags?
Okay. Appropriate hashtags. Okay.
And the purpose of the hashtag.
Okay. The purpose. Okay. Those are good. Let's see what else people said. I'm going to pin that. Who are people asking these questions? So these are people, Kyle, that are local, that they got the broadcast and they came. So Carrie Ann is a biz development, working for an accounting firm. And then we have Dean, right?
Yeah.
Good memory. Dean works for an advertising agency. So you're more on the account executive side, right? So he's running down clients to have, and he works for a huge company, Hibu. Oh, it's backward because it's flip-flopped. Whatever. HIBU. There you go. Good question, Kyle. So Kyle runs an insurance agency down in Florida, PNC shop. Then we have Steve, if I recall correctly. Now, what do you do, Steve? Steve's got 9 kids, though. So Steve's busy. So I was like, Dave, there's another guy, Dave. He runs a cleaning company. So let's see, video producer. I have a Hibu agent pitch me. Hey, a Hibu guy pitched Kyle down in Florida. Okay. Anything else that's on mind?
Let's start there.
Okay, let's start there. So first off, before we jump in, obviously we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. Where can I find you, Dean?
Facebook.
Facebook. Okay.
I'm not a Twitter guy.
Okay. And what about you, Carrie Ann?
I'm on Facebook,
Okay.
Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Okay, LinkedIn.
I would say LinkedIn, yeah.
You're on LinkedIn as well? Okay. I'm just going to call it LI. for LinkedIn. All right. So one thing that I will say, so let's just kind of preface this. Where do I come from the concepts of social media? Number one is I use it for my brand, like Sherman On, but I'm using it more for like Sherman On of 2030, right? So I'm thinking about what that guy needs in order to be in the sales field right now, right? So and it can be used for right now, right? 2018, 2017, it can fully be utilized right now, but I'm also setting up a huge stage so that way when it comes to 2030, I don't have to prospect for anything. Right. So just like if I'm from around the area and I knew a lot of people, right? So let's say in the local community, right? I played high school sports. I went to college here and I interned at a few businesses and I would go to a bunch of networking events. I have a huge network. They say on average, by the time someone hits 21, they know 1,000 people. Right. And you probably heard that you were, in the sales side of things. And so the same thing is going to happen in the digital front, right? Is that you want to be able to start building out a presence now. And so one of the things that I will tell people that you want to get away from is thinking that it's like the 14-year-old girl, 12-year-old girl taking selfies, taking photos of my food because you're utilizing it for business. Right. Now, if you don't want to use it for business, then yes, then you're going to use it for those personal things. So you almost want to get away from the stigma that you're not one way or the other, because all of these things, the mediums that we decide to use, are completely agnostic, right? Like I don't have any specific feelings for MySpace, but I just know that nobody's there, right? Except Tom. And however, I do know that I recently had read that if you're into like indie music, there's still an audience on MySpace for that. Now I'm not into indie music. That's not where I'm going to find prospects. But again, you can still see people. They'll actually have a Facebook page that have indie rock. It's kind of crazy. And so that's where I'd say, the attitude of hey, I'm not a Twitter guy. You want to get away from that, right? So because any time that like you just focus only on one tool, let's say Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg says, you know what, I'm going to go back to my philosophy of being super, I don't want to make any money on it. And all of a sudden Facebook basically almost shuts down. Right? Or they change the algorithm and all of a sudden the feed that you had, all these awesome posts aren't being seen by people that you want to be seen. And so when you only build one platform or an audience in one platform, then you end up becoming at mercy of that platform, right? The same thing is right now, like, I don't know about you guys, but do you have an actual home line? Like a landline? No. Okay, these people are saying, no, I don't have a landline. I haven't had one for almost a decade. And so getting a hold of people on the phone is extremely difficult because I call your cell phone. What happens if you don't recognize the phone number?
Don't answer.
You don't answer. And that's like so many other people. I don't even listen to voicemail anymore because people that know me will text me and say, Sherm, don't know if you saw the missed call, but call me, right? And that's exactly what's happening right now. Email is so spammed out, right? So you can send a blast of email to people, but if it's going to get through the filters, that's a question, right? Now, of course, the companies that do email marketing are going to tell you it gets through. But that's kind of the struggle, right? Is that no longer, but guess what? Back in 2002, when I got email, I read every single one of them. I did. I had no problems, man. Just like when I first moved out to college, I started getting mail. I read all the mail, right? I read all the junk mail in there. Now I don't read any of it, right? So unless it's like, just directly, I know the return address. If not, I literally throw it away. I'll rip it up so that way people, for some reason I think that people, they can't use it, but if it's junk mail anyway, they can't use it anyway. So that's kind of where I come from, is I want to be able to leverage these tools for future sales, and I want to start building an online network. The other thing that I will say when it comes to communication, all of it, right? So think of it like, I'm gonna stand up just because I'm gonna get too excited here. I'm gonna start sweating. Okay, so what happens here? If you think about communication, right now, is all of it's good, right? Whether you make a phone call to someone, you decide to send someone a text message, an email. You have an email blast. You have people subscribe to your stuff. You use Facebook. You do DMs. All of it is helping you connect with people. And so when you start utilizing these things for business, that's how you start just connecting with people and just having different touches with them. Okay. So the other thing I just want to kind of give a little bit of a background is, so on the personal side, I was introduced to my wife by my buddy, met her a couple times, sparks didn't fly, but then lo and behold, in 2015, shot her a Facebook request, friend me, and fast forward a year and so later, we were married. And she was living 17 hours away, time zone difference, in the Marshall Islands. So, we knew what each other looked like. She ended up flying out here. We spent some time together. She ended up moving out here, and we dated before we got married. But literally, all that was based on getting to know someone online. So that's kind of where I come from, is that number one is meeting somebody online now is not as a weird thing as it used to be. Using communication, Skype, audio, text messages, Google Hangout, Facebook Messenger, you can literally build relationships. And so all that we're doing is we're leveraging these tools that we have right now for business. So as you think about Facebook, so one of the things that I will say, so because we're basically all sales reps, right? So, or in some shape or fashion. And so what we're doing is we're leveraging these to connect with people in a business setting, not taking pictures of our food. Now, if you are a foodie, like you're a food critic, or maybe that's one of your hobbies, then eventually you just want to get paid whenever you go eat at places, then take all the photos you want of food. If not, then there's no point to take photos of food. So the idea then, when it comes to social media, let's start here just at the top because it's easiest, is when it comes to just niche marketing. So one of the first things that you can recognize is, obviously, if you're going to pay for it, you can really narrow it down, right? You can get the age range on Facebook. You can basically put some different parameters of like high keywords that are in there, and you can do it based on geography. And it's going to tell you how many thousands of people based on the dollars you're going to spend. It's going to hone right in there. The differences of that kind of marketing and that, or paid for ads, is that it's very different from radio, from billboard, where that's just access, right? So if you ever sat down with somebody that talks about billboard, they'll tell you about how much traffic goes there. But they have no idea on that traffic, if 10,000 cars go by, how many of those 20,000 eyes actually even look at the billboard. They have no idea. And then add on top of it, a lot of billboards went digital. So that ad is only seen every 8 seconds, 6 seconds. So that becomes the issue. So the other thing that we're going to dovetail into hashtags as you narrow down is the value of the hashtag. So the first question that I have for you, Dean, do you search at all in any of your social media via hashtag?
Not currently, but it sounds like I should.
Okay. So what about you, Carrie Ann? Have you ever searched just hashtag?
Yes.
Okay. So how did you do it? I'm looking for my phone. My phone's recording me.
I put in hashtag and then whatever I was looking for.
Yeah. Perfect. So what I'll do is I'll actually have a different LinkedIn one where you can do a search to find particular people. That's probably one of the best. I don't want to call it a secret, but one of the best tools that people don't fully utilize is their own network. So you're connected with Carrie Ann. She's got, let's say, 800 people. You're connected with me. I got 800 people. So just between the two of us, we have, let's say, 600 people. Now, some might be overlapped, right? So let's say we have 1,500 people. You might know another 100 of those people. So let's take out, you got 1,400, right? So just between the three of us, right? There's 1,400 people in there, right? And you don't need them like the Venn diagram to actually match. You just want to meet these people. But of these 1,400, even if I gave you the list, right? And I said, hey, I know everybody on here. We know everybody. We'll give you personal introductions. It would literally take you a couple of years to see every single person from a business perspective, right? Those one-on-one conversations, that's probably 1,400 hours of just literal one-on-one conversations. The typical person works 2,000 hours in a year. So you would never get back to these people and close them, right? Because you literally just have one meeting an hour. So the thing about this, when it comes to, let's say, LinkedIn, is that you can literally search and put in a keyword. So not a hashtag, but a keyword, and that would pull up all the people you want to know. So you mentioned, Dean, working with dentists. You could literally put into your search on LinkedIn, people that you want to see in Wausau, 5 miles out, first, second, and third degrees, dentists. And you would have more than enough to keep you busy for the entire year.
I didn't know that you could use. There's a.
And it's free.
I don't think I'm leveraging my LinkedIn enough then.
Yeah, most people aren't because they don't realize that. And the cool thing about LinkedIn, which a lot of people forget about, is that that is designed for professional networking. Okay, I did have a recent post where I said I cleaned up my LinkedIn. So I deleted a bunch of people that had reached out to me. I didn't really know who they were. So I couldn't really honestly say that I could vouch of your business acumen or your skill set. I just unfollowed them or unbusiness connect. I disconnected from them. I dislinked them. So that's the reason for that, Dean, is when you do that search. If let's say everybody that you're so for me, a lot of people that I'm connected with are financial advisors. So when I do the search, it's always recommending me to connect with other financial advisors when I look at Carrie Ann's, connections and the searches. And so what you want to be able to do if financial advisors aren't your end user, you want to delete them out of the system. Let's see. What's the ROI of this meeting for you, Sherman? With that suit, you should only be talking when you are getting paid. So number one is the suit, $100 on Amazon. Don't forget the power of Amazon when it's coming from China. So keywords, hashtags. So hashtags, the whole point of it was to be able to search a specific word. And you can, in Instagram, actually have hashtag a specific emoji, right? You can do hashtag numbers and follow them. So if you go on Instagram, so this and Twitter, this is one of the fun things to do for niche marketing, right? So what are some words of people that you want to get in front of? So like for me, like hashtag business owner would be somebody I want to check out. Hashtag entrepreneur, hashtag insurance. However, I follow people that do insurance and they're doing it crappy. Like they're always telling people to buy shit. You don't do that online. Like you don't. It's like literally like going on a date and be like, hey, let's have sex. Like you just don't do that. That's the wrong way to approach things. Get to know the person first. But that's what people do. Just buy stuff. Bice Incorporated. Okay, so.
But what do you search for?
Yeah. So what people are you looking for? Give me an idea.
For me, any kind of decision maker. So it would be business owner.
Okay.
It would be general manager. It would be entrepreneur.
Okay.
Would be a good word.
Okay. So a lot of times, one thing that you'll notice when you search that is that a lot of people that put that hashtag business owner, sometimes they really aren't a business owner, right? It's an aspiring person that's a business owner. Maybe it's a quote. So people are using that in order because they know that people are searching for hashtags. They're utilizing that in order to get in front of these business owners or these entrepreneurs. So what you want to be able to also look at is if there's a specific area that you know that, let's say you have a business. And so let's think about one in town, a small local fitness store. How about All-Star Nutrition, right? Just down the street, and they do fitness. So what I might want to look at is what are the hashtags they're going to be posting in themselves. So if they have a social media presence themselves or a little bit of a game, then what are they hashtagging? That's the value, right? So if I find that All-Star Nutrition, they're going to hashtag, let's say, fitness, or one that's because we're in a small community, guys. We're not Houston. This isn't 5 million people. The hashtag Wausau or Weston. And so the nice thing about Instagram right now is that I can follow people, and I can also right now follow a hashtag, which is cool. So in my feed, it'll literally pull up things that people have hashtagged Wausau. Where before I was having to go into, this isn't that difficult, but I went into the search engine and then I would put hashtag Wausau, what's the most recent tags, what's the highest posts. And so what you're doing then is you're going in and you're finding what other people are posting up with that specific hashtag. And then so some local businesses that do that, Marathon Endurance, Polito's Pizza Joint. I have seen Sam's Pizza, but they're not very often. East Bay is a strong one. More so on Twitter, not on Instagram. And then So as you think about them posting out, you want to think about what are they utilizing, and that's the one you want to search. So that way you can get it in front of them, and then you can start following them, and that's really how you start getting their attention, right? So that's the next thing. Is in all of this, right? As you follow other people, other businesses, other business owners, other entrepreneurs, or just businesses in general, you want to get their attention. So they have posts, you want to like it. You want to make comments. You want to engage with whoever is managing their social media. Now, there's good odds if it's a decently sized business like Haibu, it's not going to be the CEO. Highly unlikely that the CEO's like checking that fee, right? However, it starts getting you in front of the people that could potentially get you to the right decision maker. So sometimes it is someone that's in the HR realm, and you start building a relationship with that individual, and then they might be able to get you an audience, right? Because by being able to engage on their content, making comments, liking their stuff, maybe even sharing their posts, now all of a sudden you're someone that's interested in their business, not just, hey, I want to sell you my stuff, right? Because you're engaging with them. So that's the big thing that I would say. So a lot of times realtors have the phrase location, 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 but for social media, it's completely engagement, engagement, engagement. It no longer matters how many followers you have. Do you remember back in the day when the dot-coms, they used to have like how many visitors came to their website? Right? They literally had like a tally at the very bottom, right? And it counted how many visitors. Nobody cares anymore, because all that matters is the engagement that you're getting. And so that's the most important thing. Let's see, what are people saying here? I'm learning LinkedIn. I have avoided it, but I'm seeing it. Yeah. So someone says here that they're seeing it's helping them get more clients. She's an amazing person down in Houston who knows social media better than I do. So thanks for that comment. All right. So so when it comes to niche marketing, know your niche, follow keywords, think about the hashtags that they would be using, and then follow those. If there are particular businesses, because we live in a small community, if there's specific companies that you want to get in front of, that's what I would literally like, not stalk them, but that's kind of the gentle way that I would do it. Anytime they I would put on notifications, whatever medium that they're using. So for example, River Valley Bank, local bank in town, they have Twitter, they have Facebook, but they don't have Instagram. So literally, I would get a Twitter account and just follow them. Anytime that they put a post, I'd have a notification on my phone, boom, it goes off. I would make a comment, I would like it. And of course, the one thing that I will say is time, right? That's one of the biggest obstacles people talk about. They're like, oh, I don't want to go on social media. I'll be checking it all the time. Then don't check it all the time, right? Understand that you can go into it whenever you want. So I know a ton of people at work that will spend hours at keeping their mailbox at a zero read. Every email's being read, every email's being cleared out. To me, that's a waste of my time. If it's a valuable email, I'll read it, but I'm not going to go back and start eliminating emails. There's no value to me doing that. Now you can unsubscribe stuff, and then that'll help kind of clean it up from coming in. But I don't need to read everything that comes out, right? There's no value to me doing that. So the same thing with some of the notifications that you're going to get on your social media. Number one is you can turn off certain notifications. Like, so for me, my phone doesn't buzz if I get something on Instagram or LinkedIn or Twitter, but it'll pop up. So I removed all those just because I didn't want to be distracted. So because for me, I get the buzz, I'm going to be on the phone, right? And so a lot of times what you can do is you can have a morning, afternoon, night kind of routine. So then you're saying, hey, I'm going to post or I'm going to do some research in the morning for a half hour, then at lunch, take a break, half hour, and then at night, before I leave the office or right when I get home, I'll do a quick post or a quick search of different stuff. So the engagement is not only following other people, engaging with other people, but it's then also creating your own content, right? So that's where, depending on so for me, in regards to what I do, and you hit it right on the head, Dean, is that I'm in a very heavy compliance business. And so everything that I do online has nothing to do about insurance or investments. Right. There's not even any talk of it. Well, number one is people don't care about it, right? So I think about the average person, they're not going to all of a sudden engage with me because I decided to put a post up about life insurance. They're not going to be like, oh my gosh, Sherm, I need life insurance. I'm calling you up. People don't do that. It's still a face-to-face, belly-to-belly business. But what I do know about people and human nature is they like doing business with people they like. And that's a reality. So that's really where for me, the whole presence, because I have this heavy compliance, then it's about building a personal brand versus the Haibu brand in Wausau, right? Where other people, them having a presence is about their business, right? Is about their organization, right? That's the way they want to promote, and that there's nothing wrong with one over the other. You just need to know the area that you're playing in. So time, you need to have a plan or a strategy, right? Just don't feel like you. One of the things that people do is they decide I don't want to have a presence, or I don't want to start social media because now I'm going to be on my phone all the time. Again, that's kind of, number one, you're putting the cart in front of the horse because you're assuming that all of a sudden you're going to get all this activity. But the other thing is that you're saying that you don't want people to be contacting you. I don't know any salesperson out there that wouldn't want people contacting them. That to me is just crazy. The automotive industry is the worst. They're morons, but they should be utilizing it different. Anyway, they're just slow. They're just doing it the old way. But whatever. They're still thinking of the emails, the letters they're sending out. The only person that does really well in our neck of the woods is radio. Radio still works like crazy. Guess who it is? The 199ride.com guy. That still works. And it's mainly because he's crazy, right? He catches your attention with the 199 ride, has some crazy, antics in there. Yells a lot, and then boom, people come to the place. That's how it works. Being crazy does help. Okay, so any follow-up on this? Niche. Okay, good. Hashtags appropriateness. So what I would say is when one of the best ways to utilize hashtags in the two mediums that I know of best is Twitter and Instagram. I'm seeing those being utilized the best with the hashtags. LinkedIn, not really, because people are using the keyword search versus the hashtag. People are using groups as well in LinkedIn as well, which is a strong move from an industry perspective. Someone wrote a comment. Let's see. Hold on. I don't want to neglect. Let's see. Tim says yes. Use a sort of reverse search, for example. If I was advertising for landscaping, I might want to look at real estate groups or sites because with a ton of people advertising, it's good stuff. So that makes sense. And then what does Tim also say? I'm moving out to the Las Vegas or California area this coming fall, so I'm competing in a way bigger market. I'm so excited. So thanks for that. You're very welcome. Let's see, anyone say anything here? Nope, we're good. All right, so on Twitter, it has the home, and then it has the magnifying glass, the search icon. That'll tell you what are the trending hashtags right now on Twitter. And that's where you want to get in front of. Now, yes, will you then be posting? Now, again, depending on what you want to be hashtagging, right? So what you'll find, and this is pretty common right now on Twitter, is they have hashtags that basically trend every single day. Commonly. Hashtag, so right now, Friday feeling or Flashback Friday is almost always a trending hashtag just based on people knowing that it's Friday. So it's Monday motivation, hashtag Tuesday thoughts or Tuesday motivation, hashtag Wednesday wisdom. Sometimes you get hashtag Wednesday motivation coming up. Motivation is a hot one, by the way. Hashtag Thursday thoughts or hashtag Throwback Thursday. And of course, hashtag Feeling Friday. Then you get Saturday morning, hashtag Saturday motivation, Sunday. So sometimes posting on the weekend can be a way to get in front of somebody that you're trying to get in front of that might get bombarded throughout the week, but there's less posts on the weekends. So the other thing that Instagram does when you start creating a hashtag, like typing it out, like you're doing business owner, it'll tell you how many millions of hashtags there are in Instagram with that hashtag. So there are more hashtags for the word cars than there is for the word sex. There's more hashtags though for the word entrepreneur than there is for the hashtag business, right? Hashtag cats is still a pretty good one. People love their pets. And so that's going to give you a good idea of what you should utilize, right? So if you're thinking of a hashtag for yourself in a post, let's say for Facebook or Twitter, then you can see which one's trending. That way you can kind of post in that one. Or if let's say you're doing advertising, you can do a hashtag during the Green Bay Packers. Well, now we're not in the season, but Green Bay Packer Dallas game. You can follow that hashtag and be like, hey, anybody need advertising advice? Boom. You can put it out there. Yeah.
I was just going to ask that, if you're in business and you're really trying to hone in on a particular hashtag, you want someone to see you. Depending on what the content is of your post, the hashtag is really like an all-encompassing idea or a summation of, what you're trying to relate to your viewers and how you're trying to get engagement from your viewers. So tell us a little bit about thinking of the best hashtag to encompass, what the content is of your post.
Yeah. So the best thing to do is to use a lot of them. That is the strategy. So don't get married to one, and don't feel like you have to only play in one specific sandbox. So in Instagram right now, it allows you to put 30 hashtags on one post. So you put in the normal caption, and what you can do in your first comment right after you post it is put in a bunch of hashtags. So that way it keeps your caption clean, and then and then also remember that on Twitter it allowed you now to go to 280 characters, right? Instead of, it used to only be 140. So now they basically doubled the size that you can basically put out there. So now you can utilize a different hashtag in order, and not just one. And so if, let's say, for example, I do a post and let me think of someone. Let's think of, I'm in real estate, right? So I want to do like house for sale. I'll even want to do a hashtag for sale by owner, because a lot of times people that go for sale by owner might get frustrated with the process and then want to come to real estate, right? And then hashtag real estate, hashtag maybe it's particular cities that I service, right? So maybe it is like, Wausau, maybe it is Mosinee, maybe it is our local community. So that way, if someone's searching for, posts in that area, then I come up, right, in that particular post. Another thing to think about when it comes to just real estate, it could be houses, it could be, rent, hashtag rent to own. And so that way I'm capturing people that are in this realm of looking for houses, but maybe just don't know where to go. And so that way I can be seen as a resource. So I'm going to put a bunch of those hashtags into my post. And so if you don't want to do it right after you make the post, you can put it in the caption. And then that way, when people do a search, it's going to come up.
And just to clarify, that works a lot better on Instagram and Twitter than it does on Facebook?
Correct.
So what would be the analog to Facebook that I would try to use to capture that same kind of audience?
Yeah. There's not a need, because so the search bar, just like in LinkedIn, when you put in the word, it's just going to automatically come up. If you put in that hashtag, like literally that sign in front of it, you're just searching literally that. That's like, think of it as the more like symbols, right? So it's just that those characters that match. That's what it's finding. So the hashtag basically just says, hey, we're going to follow this word entrepreneur, not entrepreneurship or an entrepreneur lifestyle. We want it all just to be these characters.
So it's more like a Google where it's a keyword kind of search term?
Correct. Almost with like the quotes surrounding it, right? And the other thing that I would do from a search in Facebook is when you pull it up, it'll allow you to look at posts or videos or community. There's a whole number of different metrics up on top that when you do your search, you can look at different posts or video, right? It'll allow you to then kind of filter down what you'd want to see in that specific keyword. You can do ands. They work okay in Twitter. I was using it yesterday. I wanted to find East Bay and Wausau because I found that East Bay is looking for a social media strategist, and I wanted to find that post and recommend someone that I know, but couldn't find it, and then I found it. But I had to use the and, but it took a little bit of time to kind of filter through and find it again. Good question. Anything else? Okay, so then let's go to ROI. This is probably one of the biggest ones for a lot of people that actually stops them from wanting to do something, right? Because they realize that, okay, just like if you wanted to build a network face-to-face, it's going to take some time. I might have to join an association. I might have to go to some after-hours events or go, spend some early mornings catching coffee at, the local, chamber event. And so that can be frustrating for some people because they know that it's going to take some of their effort. However, because, let's see, what did Pat Bryan say? What's he say here? He says hashtag social media for hashtag real estate by hashtag PB and Jam LLC. He's putting what he would do.
Who's that?
So there's Pat Bryan over at PB and Jam. Do you know him?
Yeah.
So Dean says hi. Dean says hi, Pat. If you're still online. Okay. Let's see. Looking sharp. Thank you very much. Appreciate that comment. All right. So here's the thing. When it comes to ROI, and this is where people are like, I don't know if I want to build a network, and then all of a sudden I'm spending all this time, and what if I can't respond to anybody? So my son literally brought this up the other night. He asked me how many people reach out to me like through DMs and texts on like social media, and I have a podcast as well. So how many people are calling in? And I was like, I don't know, maybe 20 to 40, depends on the day, right? And he's like, do you respond to every single one of them? I said, yes, I do. And that's a lot of time. I said, it's a little bit of time. But again, I can kind of squeeze it in, right? When I'm going to the restroom, I can do a little bit of stuff that doesn't require voice, and then it helps me catch up. I'm multitasking is my excuse. And so then the idea here is that I don't want to stop. So that's what he said. He goes, well, what happens when it gets really big? You have a lot of followers. How are you going to respond to everybody? And I said, oh, well, I will do my literal best to engage with people. Because as I said, so look at it from their perspective, right? Somebody makes a comment. So even this guy, Josh, makes a comment, says, hey, you're looking sharp, Sherm. Why would he make that comment? Or what does he want? He wants that I recognize the comment. He doesn't need anything, right? He doesn't need me to mail him anything. He doesn't need anything except to say, thanks for the comment, right? Thanks for the engagement. Where that's the problem, right? Is that if people engage with you and you don't give it back, then they're going to stop engaging. And that's what you miss out on. So that's why you'll find people that have like literally 50,000, a perfect example is a lot of times your celebrities. They have millions of followers. But then you see their posts, they'll have a lot of likes. So let's say they have, let's use Serena Williams, for example. 10 million, I just saw that she has like 10 million followers. If you look at her post, she'll put a post out. And if let's say it's just a picture, she'll get maybe hundreds of thousands of people to like it. Hundreds of thousands. But then in the comment section, it's like 1,000. So you look at 10 million to 1,000, there's like the engagement level is absolutely abysmal, right? But if you look at Taylor Swift, who sometimes will go sing at somebody's request, right? She did that a couple years ago where she sang at someone's wedding. She has a ton of people engaging with her because they know that there's a chance, and people know that she's busy, but they know that there might be a chance that she might engage with them. So it's kind of exciting. So when it comes to ROI, though, how do you end up driving for that? So the first thing is that I would say for most people is that in the short term, it's going to be lopsided. Just like anything that we start, right? A child, when it learns to walk, spends a ton of time getting up versus actually walking, right? The time is absolutely crazy how much time they're just constantly picking themselves up versus actually taking steps. And the same thing is going to work here. You're going to put a ton of time in practicing, right? Posting, a ton of time engaging because you don't have anybody yet that's willing to buy, right? So a lot of times when you start putting out the post, the people that are engaging with you are the people that like you, that are friends with you, that might already been bought, right? So your clients are like, yeah, dude, I already bought. I know you got good stuff. But they like following you because they want to know that, hey, maybe there's something that we might be missing from a strategy perspective. They want to hear from the horse's mouth what's going on. And so you're doing two things there. Number one, the first ROI that you should be thinking about when you do social media is first, if you're a business owner, is for employees, right? So if I am in an organization and I decide to do social media, it's for my coworkers. That's why I have a presence, because I want to give a shout out to you on your birthday. When the only other people that do is probably your mom or like people on Facebook, and they just do the carbon copy happy birthday, right? Or if I'm a business owner, I want to recognize my employees, right? You just had the fourth quarter. If I was, let's say, I worked at, I saw the commercial, right? Walmart did this. They thanked all their employees. What a cooler one is if they actually had some of their employees and said, hey, thank you. And then they did something tangible. Instead of a commercial, they literally said thank you. Like, that would be far more impactful, the actual engagement of a real human being versus just this commercial shot. So then that's the first one. The next one is people that are clients or customers, right? This is a way that you can basically showcase that you are on the top of their mind. Because remember, your A clients is somebody else's A client. So there's people attacking them just as much. And so if you are constantly putting content out there, they see you. Hey, this guy's really busy. This guy seems to know what they're doing. I would say too, from a metric standpoint, is don't get caught up in how many people are watching and what's actually going on. Because actually, you are an example. I had no idea you were watching anything until you're like, hey, I passed you along to Melissa, and I was like, no idea. Who is this again? Yeah. And then just yesterday, I was sitting down with a friend of mine, and she runs a health insurance business. And so she runs a decent sized shop, and she's like, yeah, I saw your stuff on LinkedIn, and you are doing some awesome stuff. And all on LinkedIn, if you look at my posts, I'm only posting a few things a week. I don't have a lot of heavy stuff compared to, if you follow me on Facebook, man, you'll have to ignore me because you have to mute it because there's just so much stuff that comes at you. And so, but for her, it was like, hey, you're still like, she still saw me as like an industry like thought expert, right? Somebody that kept their hand on the pulse, someone that was still very active and involved just based on what she saw. So even though she didn't make any comments or any, she didn't have to like anything, but she was watching. And so that's where I'd say for a lot of people that have social media, they want to look there first. So you can't put an ROI on a client staying, but we both know, we all know being in sales, it's more expensive to grab a new client than it is to keep the old ones. And then finally is your prospect, right? People that are out there that you want to eventually have as clients. That is what you finally use social media for. And so the ROI on that one is how quickly can you build the speed of trust? So that is a great book out there by Stephen Covey's son, Stephen M.R. Covey. I think it's like a junior. But he wrote one talking about how the more similarities that you have with people, the more quickly you are to actually do business. And so social media actually allows you to get exactly that, right, Dean? As you talked about the niche marketing, the more commonality you have with people and they see it, the moment that you walk in, and let's say you've been following them because you're a big curling fan, right? And so you've been engaging with them, liking their stuff when they've been doing curling, and it's just something that they do maybe as a team. It's part of their business, right? The moment that you come in and they know that you love curling too, your likelihood to do business is that much higher because you have more commonality. What they found was that when people have 6 or more areas of commonality, that's the winner. It's 6 or more. But in most relationships, the tough thing is that you can't be efficient in relationships. I can't say to you and say, hey, I want to be a friend of yours. You got 10 minutes. Let's go. I can't. You can't be efficient, but you can be very effective with your level of communication. And so by being able to constantly have a presence out there online, you're going to get the attention of other people. Then when it comes to prospecting, it's being able to convert that conversation of likes and various comments very nonchalantly to say, hey, would you be open to a conversation? Would you be open to grabbing lunch? Would you be open to grabbing coffee? And so then you're shifting it. So one of the things that I'm surprised that a lot of people aren't doing is exactly what Carrie and I do. And that's reaching out to people that are in the community and saying, hey, I want to hear your story. You got 30 minutes. And then just hear their story and then just see where it takes you. To the question that Kyle asked, or I think Josh had asked, what's the ROI of doing something like this for me? Is it's a matter of just meeting people and providing value. So for me, the one thing for people to understand is when you do things like this, like let's say a live session, and then I'll share it, there'll still be people that come and watch it later. So I'm not concerned about the 2 people or the 5 people that are on it, the 1 person that's on there now, because the moment that I publish it, there'll be more people that watch it later. And the other thing is all the people that get notified that I went live, they think that something good is happening. Even though they don't come on board here, right? Even though they don't come and watch, they think, dude, that dude is busy. That dude is always doing something, right? And so that perception, whether it's right or, whether it's reality or not, like I could just be, having a good time here. That's what matters, is that it's their perception of what's happening here. And so that's going to help me have greater engagement in the future. Okay. And then the last thing I would say is when it comes to the medium of choice. So this is for you as you build like a personal brand, is use one that you feel most comfortable in, right? So if you're good at writing, do a blog, write a book, do an ebook. It's so easy to write books these days. If you're more of a talker, then do a podcast, maybe interview people, because you no longer have to be a journalist to call someone up and say, hey, I have a podcast. They don't care how many people will listen to it, but they want to share their story. So a lot of times when it comes to like business owners, especially in our community, they're pretty open-minded. This is the Midwest, man. We're friendly people. This isn't the East Coast where they're total jags. No offense to anybody that's on the East Coast, but you aren't as friendly as we are here. We're just nice. We're just nice people. So that's one of the values, is that you can reach out to somebody, and and let's say you like video, then do a bunch of how-to videos. A lot of people don't know this, that TV guides made more money, like profitability, more money than the networks. Because people care more about how to do something than actually the actual thing. More people will watch the Houston Texans. More people will watch the Packers probably practice than will actually watch the game. Because you think about that, people that watch the football game are typically people that enjoy football. Maybe they just like the camaraderie, right, of the family. But when you start doing fitness in there, more people are going to watch that than they are the football game, because now it's more relatable. You've just broadened it to everybody else. Then you add on top of it, maybe there's a little bit of drama then that excites people. People like to see how things are made, or kind of behind the scenes. It's kind of crazy. Any other questions? Okay, so if I can be of any value, let's just see here. There's a couple comments. This is very unprofessional, but tell them I said hi. Oh, Josh, you can tell people hi. What's up? Josh says hi, everybody. Have a good day.
Josh.
Because I do marketing, this is great stuff. Learn a lot. Thanks, sure. You're very welcome, Sheena. And Fabian, thumbs up to you. So if I can be of any value, feel free. The easiest way to follow me is I'm just at Sherman on everything. ShermanOn. Instagram, Facebook. The only thing that I'm not Sherman on is Snapchat, Sherman on 1 at Snapchat, but I don't use Snapchat a ton. It's not, there's not enough people in our community using it. That's appropriate, right? There's a lot of like kids using it, but actually there's not as many as there are on Facebook or Instagram. But that's just our community. We live in a different world than everybody else. So feel free. If you have any questions following this, I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to see how I can track it for the next 90 days. I'm going to do it every Friday at noon and see if we can get some consistency. And kind of what I told you, Dean, my why of this, number one, is just to share some different ideas with other people, right? So I'm definitely not an expert at all of this. I'm just a guy that decided to do some of it and all of a sudden just kind of sped out of control. And then in a good way, and it's been a lot of fun. And then the other thing is that I want to be able to start creating a community culture here within our small community of Wausau of being good at social media. right? Videographer is a profession that's going to come on quickly. There's a guy, Lem Creative. He does all the drone work around town, and he's just collecting a ton of drone work. I mean, he's going to be the only guy, which is pretty awesome. He's thinking. So I'd like there to be this feeling of social media and how we can leverage it and use it. So that's it, everybody. Have a fantastic day.